Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our CURT bike rack for your 2 electric bikes right here on our 2021 Ford Bronco. So this is going to be a really strong and sturdy bike rack. If you're looking for something with really good weight capacity but also has the premium features you would expect from a premium bike rack, like a front wheel mount, the tilt away feature, as well as the fold up feature, this might be a good option for you. But before anything else, the first thing I'd like to say is that we are currently using a hitch extender because we have a spare tire. If your Ford Bronco has a spare tire as well as the factory hitch, that hitch extender is going to be necessary to use any accessory like our CURT bike rack here. The first feature we are going to take a look at is the tilt away feature. So we have this handle over here. You're going to want to pull that handle. So just press on the lever on the inside and then just let it drop down to a tilt. And just like that, we are now able to tilt away our bike rack. You would want to do this if you want to open up the door on your Ford Bronco. In our case here, let's see if we can clear the spare tire, and we cannot. So this is going to be as far as you can open your rear door. Now you're just going to lift up on your bike rack. If you do have 2 electric bikes though, remember that you are going to have to be lifting up on their weight, so definitely something worth considering. If you can't lift that much, I recommend just not tilting it away since you aren't able to open your door all the way anyways. So the way our bike is mounted here is we have 1, 2, 3 points of contact. Remember, this does have a 130-pound weight capacity. I currently have a carbon fiber frame bike on here instead of an electric bike because I want to point out this front wheel mount. So this secures your bike by the front wheel, just brings that down. Then you have a rear wheel strap holding that side down also. If you do have an alternate frame bike, like a step-through bike, women's bike, or even children's bike, that front wheel mount is very helpful because then you don't need a frame adapter bar. If you have a carbon frame bike like this, very helpful too, because a traditional bike rack could possibly warp or damage your frame. And when you have those heavy electric bikes, this kind of makes it easier to engage and keep it in place. So we're going to take our bike off, and I'm going to start at the rear wheel strap. So we have this button over here. You're going to want to press that button in order to release that strap. Bring that all the way up. And then I like to swing this all the way down so it doesn't get caught up in our spokes. Then you're going to go over here to the front. Hold on to your bike as you do so. Press this button and lift this up in order to release your bike. Then push that out of the way. And from here, you can lift your bike up, over, and you're ready to go on a bike ride. We have this tray design. So here you can have your smaller tires up to your wider tires of up to 4 inches. You also have this sliding rear wheel cradle to accommodate your bikes of different wheelbases. Once you do have them in place, all you need to do is just strap that down and tighten that down. And here's our front wheel mount. So what's really holding down your front wheels is this part over here. So we have this slight padding to help protect your wheels as well as to give some extra grip. The trickiest part is just making sure that it fits in there and that you have a nice good fit before you secure it. At the end, we also have this lock core, which is going to be for use with your cable locks included with this bike rack. So now we're going to take a measurement to see how much length does this add to the back of our vehicle. Remember that we currently have the Yakima straight shot hitch extender, which adds 7 and I believe 1/4 inches of length to our factory hitch. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But measuring from our bumper to the end of the bike rack over here, it sits at 47 inches total of length added to the back of our Bronco. So whenever you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a really tight spot, please don't forget that you have your bike rack as well as your bikes behind you. Now let's talk about ground clearance. So I'm going to measure ground clearance at some different points. The end of the bike rack to the ground is 23 3/4 inches. Where that handle sits to the ground is 20 3/4 inches. Compare that to where our shank is, and we have it at 17 inches. So ground clearance is important for when you want to take your Bronco either off-road or if you're going up steep inclines like driveways or hills. We have a really good ground clearance though, since we do have a pretty decent shank rise. That means our bikes are sitting higher up off the ground. The downside to that though is that you have to lift your bikes higher up in order to get them onto the platform. And now we're going to move this into our compact, portable, folded up position. So remember that lever we used earlier? Pull that lever again, and this time push that up. There we go, and it snaps into place in the up position. So we'll take some measurements. With our hitch extender, the closest point is going to be between our front cradle and our spare tire, and there's 2 inches of clearance there. Still pretty good clearance, no contact, but it's nice to see that it clears. Now measuring from our bumper to the end of the bike rack, this sits at 25 inches of length. Big difference compared to when this was folded down. You'll definitely want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town. You don't want to take up too much space. Your backup camera sits right over here on your spare tire though, so that is going to be covered. Living with this behind you though, notice how you're still able to see out of your rear window. Your lights are still visible. You also have the light on top of your spare tire visible. You just lose out on your backup camera. This has a 2-inch shank, which currently fits into our 2-inch hitch extender, which is in our 2-inch factory hitch. While we're talking about all this, remember that if you are using an extender, because of just the way it works, you are likely to have your hitch capacity reduced by half. The good news is the hitches on the Ford Bronco are usually above and beyond what you need to carry a bike rack like this, so you're gonna be okay even if you're carrying 130 pounds of bike. All right, so this fits into our hitch and it tightens down without any tools. All you need to do is use this knob. So rotate that knob, it extends an anti-rattle wedge inside the hitch, helping secure everything. To demonstrate how that wedge works, as I shake our bike rack side to side to just show that road sway and vibration, I'm merely moving the car. Again, if you are using a hitch extender, make sure that's secured with its own anti-rattle bolt so that you can take advantage of how the bike rack itself works. So my personal thoughts about the CURT Bike Rack for your 2 electric bikes is I do like how everything is included. You're able to secure both your bike rack and your bikes with the included security cable. You have a really good weight capacity of about 65 pounds per bike. And this lever here looks at first like it might be kind of on the wimpy side, but it works really well since you just have this lever and you just turn it. It's ease of use. The downside to this bike rack though is it does sit higher up on the Ford Bronco. If I was lifting very heavy bikes onto a platform rack, I would prefer to use a ramp just to make my life easier. If you want that option, we have bike racks that do that. One is going to be the CURT NB 2.0. You can get a ramp added to it. Not as much weight capacity as the CURT bike rack though, but if you're okay with 60 pounds, it will work out for you too. Remember, if you are carrying electric bikes on the back of your vehicle, if you can, please take out the batteries just to preserve your battery's life, as well as to lighten the load on whatever bike rack you are using. And that was a look right here at our CURT bike for your 2 electric bikes right here on our 2021 Ford Bronco. My name is Evangeline and I hope this helped you out.